All right, when is too old to start a band? Well, listen, I just started playing out with... I'm not in a band, but I got to tell you, dude, it's fucking... I got to tell you something. Going down and doing that goddamn comedy jam and sitting in with the band is the most fun shit I've done in a long time. I literally drive down there with, like, butterflies, like this nervous excitement. You know how long it's been since I've had that? I'm getting outside my comfort zone, and I know, obviously, I'm not going to join a band or anything, but whatever that experience is, artistically, is going to help me in my acting. It's somewhere down the road, that experience is going to fucking help me, and I don't know. It's the fucking best. Anyways, he goes, when is too old to start a band? He goes, hey, Bill, my boyfriend... Oh, she says, sorry. Oh, nice. A female wrote in. God damn it. I love when this happens. Says, my boyfriend of 2 years has been involved has been very involved in theater and music. He was in bands throughout high school and college as a drummer. About a year ago, he joined a cover band, which I'm totally supportive of. It's a really nice hobby, and I love going to his shows. Now we are getting pretty close to moving in together. He talks at length about our future, that what we need to do to get there, etc. Basically, we are being grown-ups, and despite what you're probably thinking, he is actually the one that brings up our future and more than me. I'm not judging you. I know I'm a cunt, but I'm not judging you here. I'm reading this open-mindedly. She goes, well, I'm reading this open-mindedly as I keep calling you he. She says this. Well, about a week ago, he says that he and the chick in the cover band want to start their own two-person original band. And based on certain things he has said, he seems pretty serious about trying to make something of it, i.e. comments about me going on tour with him or about becoming a rich musician, etc. My first reaction, you're 31. You don't really like your job much. Parentheses, people that hate their careers tend to want to try something else. You talk to me about our future and what we have to do to get there. You want to start dedicating your time to a two-person band. I haven't said any of this to him because I don't want to come off as unsupportive. But I mean, at what age do you face the reality and stop trying to live out a 15-year-old's dream? Granted, it seemed very unlikely that anything will come of it. Sorry, just being honest. But doesn't this seem like a midlife crisis 10 years too early? I should mention he also sent me this horrendous skull tattoo today that he suddenly wants on his arm. Or am I being selfish and an asshole? Be blunt, I can take it. All right. There's a lot of shit going on in this one. Is 31 too late to start in a band? Technically, no, I don't think it is. And when you said, that he's having a midlife crisis, I hate that expression. And however, and at first I didn't like that you used it until he was talking about getting the awful skull tattoo on his arm. That loaned a lot of credibility to the midlife crisis comment. I would say this. I think this is a person that wanted to be in a band, a successful band, and is now 31 and is realizing, like, fuck, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this now. All right? But going out and getting the skull tattoo is... that really, I don't know. I don't know about that part. That's making me feel like your assessment of the situation. I mean, without me seeing this guy play, I can't tell you, but like, at this point, he's in a cover band and he has a job, and that is your relationship. This guy has a job, he has a steady income, and he has this cover band. Now, all of a sudden, he's going to get a skull tattoo, quit his job, and potentially go on the road and take you with him. Now, I'm assuming you have a fucking job. So he is creating an entirely new dynamic. So you're in the right to be like, what the fuck are we doing here? And you're in a tough position where you don't want to be like, listen, this dream that you've had, but for some reason didn't go after it the way you should have. I understand being in a cover band to like pay the fucking bills, but if you're not making original music, there's only so far that you can fucking go as far as my understanding of it. So I don't think that you're being an asshole. The skull tattoo thing is really like a major fucking red flag to me. That, does he have any other tattoos? If he doesn't have any other tattoos and out of nowhere he's like, all right, I'm going to stop being in this cover band. I'm going to finally take this fucking thing seriously and I'm going to go out and get some fucking awful goddamn tattoo. Yeah, I would be kind of concerned about the guy and what he was doing. But as far as the whole midlife crisis thing, that gets thrown around a lot when somebody goes after a dream. And there's nothing wrong with being 31 years old and then assessing your life, being like, wait a minute, I've been on this road I don't want to go on. I need to go on this other road. And I think a lot of times people who aren't going after a dream can't relate to it. I'm not saying this is you, but they can't relate to somebody going after a dream and taking a big risk. And they attribute it to having a midlife crisis. Or they don't have a dream. They're just going to work and that's fine. Working for somebody else and you know, doing the 9-to-5 grind. As long as you make enough money and you have your benefits and you like where you live, like that's fine, like that's your dream. And they can't understand somebody going after something. But I would definitely not call it a midlife. I don't know. I guess it is technically a midlife crisis. I mean, all a midlife crisis is like, fuck, I better get on the stick or the things that I wanted in life I'm not going to have. It's like, you know me, when I'm sitting there talking about, you know, I'm finally going to get myself a nice fucking car if I can ever get finished with this goddamn downstairs. And, you know, I'm talking about some of the cars I'm looking at, you know, and it just comes to, it's like, if I don't ever do this, I'm never going to do it. I think when you're young, you can be like, oh, I'll do this someday. I'll do this someday. Someday I'm going to do this. You can lie to yourself. And in life, you have to understand that, no, if I don't do this, I'm never going to do this. Does that make sense? If I don't go over to fucking Europe, I'm never going to go to Europe unless I get my fucking ass over there. I'm never going to have this car that I always wanted unless I go down to the dealership and fucking buy the goddamn thing. And I don't know, when people see you step out of what they think that you are, which is I play in a cover band and I have this job that I fucking don't like, it's very easy to say, are you having a midlife crisis? He could also be having an awakening. Okay, so this is a very delicate thing. Oh, man, it just keeps coming back to that awful skull tattoo. To me, that just seems like, first of all, that's the hackiest fucking tattoo out there. You know, to get, you know, fucking, I'm in music till I die. What's going to be a guy with a skull fucking playing drums? I mean, that's just bad. And I just look at that like you're dressing up like a rock star rather than legitimately being one. And I don't think you're being a dick here. I think or an asshole. I think what you're doing is he's making this big decision that's going to affect both of your lives in a major way. So you're not being an asshole. So right now, what you have to do is literally try to like defuse a bomb. Okay? You got to make sure you cut the right wire. And what I mean by that is you're able to convey your concerns like, listen, I support you and all of that. And I know you don't like your day job. But, you know, I mean, there's just no way to say you're 31. You know, you are 31 years of age. I would say, look, he's kind of making a move for himself here, so you got to make a move for yourself. What I would do is, it's like, I would talk him out of the skull tattoo. Just say, listen, this is how you get rid of the skull tattoo. Just say, listen, I will support you. Okay? You get with this woman, you guys start making this fucking music, okay? But you're not getting the skull tattoo. All right? And then go down and watch them. And if they seem like they have something, who the fuck knows? Stranger things have happened. I would never tell somebody not to go after a dream. I would tell them not to get the skull fucking tattoo. But see if they have something. And if it seems like they have something, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Then I guess you have to assess, do I want to take this fucking ride? Because that is a motherfucker of a ride. Yeah, that's I guess, I kind of was all over the map there. But I think I came to a point. No skull tattoo. You can start making this fucking original music together and, like, I mean, I don't know. How do you go out on the fucking road unless you're actually doing well? What are they going to do? You know, they have to make some great music. I would just lay it on the line. It's like you're asking me, you're making a major change here where music was your hobby and now you're going to make it your full-time thing and you're talking about taking me out on the road. How are we going to afford to do this and all of that type of stuff? I will support you making the original music, but you are by no means getting a skull tattoo on your fucking arm because that is the tramp stamp for a guy. Okay? Unless you're in a motorcycle gang and you murdered somebody, like there should not be any skulls on your body. All right? There. I said it.